Welcome back to the Huddle on Fox Sports 1700, sponsored by McDonald's. Da-da-da-da-da.
I'm loving it.
And you get a little bit more rhythm there. And Christina Salas, State Farm, and Miracle Medical in Weslaco. They carry the Don Joy knee brace for the Valley. Our next guy up, our next coach, I say guy, what's wrong with me? When I say surprise coaches, it's just because he is a first-year coach that has taken the Valley by storm, and his team is St. Joseph's, and this is Tino Villarreal. Congratulations, Coach. You guys have just defeated another non-Valley team.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, talk to me about last night's game. You guys played St. Michael's out of Austin. You guys went in there. It was a tougher game than what you guys had gone through with those out-of-Valley teams.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough game when we prepared for these guys and saw them on film. We knew they had the offense to give us a lot of trouble. They have this kid, Deshaun Johnson, big-time running back, some big old 6'4", 6'5" receivers. They've got a really good athlete in their number 2, another really good kid, the big old 6'4" quarterback. I mean, they've got all the makings to give us a lot of trouble offensively, and their defense had only given up 3 points in the previous 2 district games. So we knew going into the game it was going to be tough, and the weather really wasn't helping us out either. Our field was muddy, it was wet, and I'm just so proud of our boys for pulling it off.
Now, you guys have been efficient. I mean, I could say great, I could say good, but efficient is that key word when I look at your team because, like, you see Kai Money going 10 of 12 last week. I'm not sure what he was last night, but you guys have been efficient. You guys have really capitalized on the time you're on the field. Yeah,
we before last night, and you guys jinxed us in the huddle. I'm just kidding about that. We were turnover free, but with the conditions last night, we put the ball on the ground a couple of times, and we ended up losing one of them. First turnover of the year, which is okay too. It's good to get that off our back too. Everybody's. Don't get me wrong. It's not just your coverage, just in general. The feeling in the locker room is, hey, we don't turn over the ball. Let's not turn over the ball. And at least the first one's out of the way. I'm not saying I want more, but we were able to hold on to the ball well. Our defense was able to give us the ball twice too, so they added to their takeaway margin as well.
Yeah, and sorry for jinxing you, by the way. I mean, I'll tell Greg about that, but no. Hey, at least it wasn't in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was good for us. What the thing that didn't hurt was, we turned over the ball in the opening drive of the second half, and we turned over the ball at our own 30. So we thought we were going to give them an opportunity to go back up on a 2-score, put us in the hole 2 scores, and our defense has stepped up big. And held them and forced a punt.
I think a lot of people thought that your offense with Kai Money, a sophomore, he might have that sophomore slump. Everybody's really good, and then everybody game plans for you, and then they figure out your tendencies. But he has seemed to break the mold as far as sophomore slumps.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that Kai hasn't had a sophomore slump. And you're right. People look at our game and our game film, and they know the kind of offense we run. And in the fourth quarter, we just let Kai loose and let him be an athlete and figure out finding open receivers. And he showed us with a big 64-yard run and then a 51-yard run in the third and fourth quarter that we put the ball in his hands. We're going to be in a good spot.
Hey, Coach, it's Kevin Arrow with 956.
How are you?
I'm doing well. What is it, efficiency that Jake used? What was the word?
Efficient, yeah.
Efficient. For Kai Money, 200 yards of offense, $135 on the ground, 65 through the air, and 3 scores. He's only a sophomore, and I just learned that. I said, Jake, what grade is he? He's a sophomore. That's pretty impressive. Now, does Kai kind of embrace the whole kind of under-the-radar type thing? Because I know we put out a poll at the beginning of the year on who may be the best quarterback in the Valley, and then everybody would talk Jonathan Sanchez, Marco Aguinaga, Pedraza from Vela. But wait a second. There's a kid down there in Brownsville named Kai Money who has had a really great year. So does he embrace that sort of underdog role?
Yeah, I don't think he looks for personal accolades. I've said before, and I'll always say that Kai's very humble. I think he doesn't lose himself in polls and pre-season rankings and personal accolades. He just wants to win, and that's what makes him a very dangerous quarterback. Is he knows his role is to protect the football and get our offense in the end zone, and he's doing a really good job keeping his focus on those two things.
And now, what do you have left? I mean, because you had your first home game in a while yesterday, and it was a battle. I mean, that's an incredible game. What do you have left?
Yeah, we travel to San Antonio again this Friday. We take on Central Catholic up there at their home, and then we finish the year here, the regular season at home against San Antonio Antonians. So, and we still got two really, really tough, respectable, and very good football programs to play.
And how does it work? Because a lot of people, they might not follow TAPS as much as they might follow the other districts. How does it work for you guys? How many teams make it in?
Well, we're kind of like in the same boat as the 4As. There's six teams to a district and 4 go.
Oh, okay. So, but you guys don't have to worry about making it because you've already qualified, I imagine.
Yeah, we've qualified for the playoffs, which is, it's a good thing. We didn't qualify last year, so we're in now. But we've preached it all year long that if we're able to do kind of the job we want to be in the talks and in the hunt for a district championship. It hasn't happened in our school in over 25 years, and so we're taking it one game at a time, and Central's next, and hopefully, God willing, it puts us in a good spot going into the last 2 games, and especially the last one, contending for at least a share or an outright district championship.
We met a long time ago. You did color commentating with
Yes.
Alex Del Barrio, and he was doing games for us. But
Yes.
when you took over this program, did you expect to have this much success? I mean, besides the Raymondville blemish, I mean, you guys have really rolled through the season.
We have really good. We've always had talented athletes here at the school, and coming into this year, knowing that Kai was going to be a sophomore, and Mario's growing up, and Anthony Cantu stepped in the role, and we have a big offensive line and key players on defense. I knew we were going to be pretty good. I didn't make too many changes. I'm a very, blunt OCD type of person. So when I came into the program, I kind of cracked the whip a little bit. Not much, it takes a little bit to garner support from the parents, mostly here at our private school. The players are all in. They just want to win, and I think that now everyone's on board on the same page. The parents are in. I mean, they're phenomenal. They're more than in, and now we've got the ball rolling in the right direction. I'm very happy.
Well, I mean, it's been incredible. It's an incredible season. I mean, it's been incredible to watch. I mean, you guys are gracious enough to let us look at your Huddle film. And, every weekend, Greg and I will look at the film because we'll look at film from the coaches that allow us to. And Kai's impressive. I mean, the touch he had last week on one of his passes, one of his touchdown passes, he's just got incredible touch.
He does. He pulled the ball. He makes me look good. I call the offensive plays, and he makes me look like a genius sometimes. We were in our first opening drive. I called a run right up the gut, and he always has the opportunity to read the outside man. And if he's coming into the run fit, he can always pull the football. And I thought he gave the ball. Before I know it, our receiver has the ball in his hands, and he's untouched into the end zone for our first score. And those are just a couple of things. I mean, we had a big 4th and 5, and the play I called, the look we had wasn't there, and Kai replaced the middle linebacker with our slot dragging the field, kept our drive alive. If not, we wouldn't be talking right now about our win last night. We would have lost that game. So it's a lot of. It's not only the touch. It's the studying of film and just knowing his teammates and being able to put the ball in their hands at the right time.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When we cover the redistricting, when everybody's trying to change their schedule because different teams are added to their district, I'm going to start throwing your name into the mix. I'm going to be like, hey, if you're a real man, you'll play St. Joe.
We want to play bigger teams. I mean, it only helps us, and it's everything you said was right. I listened to some of the show here in the huddle, I mean the radio, and when you guys were saying, it helps us. It's like you're right. When Harlingen selects those bigger schools, and they want to play those San Antonio schools in non-district, and that's what is getting us ready. It's getting us ready, playing the Raymondvilles and taking that loss, and scrimmaging Rocky James and the Rio Hondo Bobcats, and taking on Stump and the PI Tarpons. I mean, that's the only way that it allows us to get better and to be able to compete and represent the Valley in our district, because we're not known as St. Joe. We're just known as Brownsville in our district. Oh, we got to go play Brownsville, and before we used to be kind of the doormat of our district, and now we're everybody's homecoming opponent. We spoiled a couple of homecomings already.
Hey, that's nice. And you got 2 more games and then the playoffs, and hopefully you can spoil some teams' playoffs.
Oh, we'll be homecoming again this Friday at Central.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Even better.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you ruined homecoming, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you can go back there for Saturday and ruin Halloween also.
Well, we had to pay them back, so we put Austin St. Michael's. Yesterday's game was our homecoming.
Oh, nice.
and people thought we were crazy. What are you doing scheduling Austin as your homecoming? Well, they do it to us, so why not?
Hey, great win last night, and best of luck the next 2 games. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for the coverage. We really appreciate that. The kids always and the parents listen to you guys here on the radio, and then also log on and do the Twitter and online, and we're always grateful, because sometimes we get forgotten. We're not in a Valley district, so we sometimes get forgotten.
I didn't forget you guys last week. I didn't get out of my that gymnastics competition in shirts until 3:30. I was dying to go to your game.
I know that. I know that. No, trust me. I know that, and like I said, we just appreciate it, because it is tough. None of our opponents live down here, and it's tough to cover the one school with a district that no one knows about.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, and you guys have to. It's incredible the amount of miles you guys have to put on.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we're getting used to it now.
Well, best of luck next week on the road and at home in 2 weeks, Coach.
That's right.